All right, testing, testing, 1, 2. Okay, so what the heck is going on today? So, today I'm trying several things with a crazy, crazy setup. Let me just make sure all my audio is coming in clearly. So, essentially, what I'm doing is multitasking beyond belief. I have my regular stream going on right now on YouTube, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and the other art program, art website, Picardo. But, as some may already see, I also have my secondary device broadcasting to Instagram because I realized, I started doing all this live stream stuff on Instagram. So why not see if I could, wrangle it in here. Let me see who's with us on Instagram right now. It's kind of hard to see from where I'm sitting. Macarona. Hello, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Mac. So, how am I doing this exactly? You might be wondering. So I actually have a secondary device just kind of stuck on the side of my computer right here. It is recording my actual screen, which is why anyone on Instagram might notice a bit of a glare or like not the best resolution as I work. Hey, Katorius Rex. Yeah, so I'm like multitasking as I mentioned. And so we're just gonna go ahead. Hopefully everything's moving smoothly. YouTube feed seems to be coming in okay. And usually if YouTube is running well, so is Twitch. So let me do a quick, let me see what's going on. So the thing is this, for those of you who don't know, Restream, which is a great program, is what I use to resend this stream to 3 different websites, does not work for Instagram because Instagram is a mobile app. So there's no way to actually send the info unless you just have a mobile device recording it. Hey, Katorius Rex. Let me see. It's hard to read. The clip I'm using to hold this in place, to hold my tablet in place, is also obstructing my view of the chat. Not a perfect thing. Alright, so Katorius Rex says everything seems to be coming in pretty clear. Like I said, the only issue I have is that there's a bit of a glare. You know what? Let me try something real quick. I'm gonna adjust the lighting in this room. Stand by. There we go. So that has removed the glare. That has removed the glare from Instagram. Hopefully that looks nicer. All right. All right. So let me get to it. We're just gonna go ahead and just continue working on the beautiful spider. Yeah, so I have my desktop, my phone recording my face, my tablet on the side recording the screen, and my old laptop on my other side showing me the chat from 2 different websites. So it is a mess in here, but I can still work. So all right, let's get to it. So where we left off, I laid in all the purple colors, laid in some sharp flats, I think I'm getting used to shading with this program. Uh, I use the pen tool to do flat tones. Then I use basic color pencil, which allows me to get a certain level of shading. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay, so that is our cloth layer. Let me back up for a minute. Cloth. No, that's skin. No, sorry, that's inks. What am I doing? Freaking lock that. That is our coat, and then that is our skin tone. So we're gonna try and do. Let's try to do the coat for now. Alright, so let's put in some flat tones right here. Just some darker grays for now. So, announcements, everyone. Let's do some announcements. As as I posted on my Instagram, on my Twitter, and I attempted to put on Facebook, but for some reason Facebook is acting funny. I will be attending 2 upcoming conventions. One in September, one in October. So that's 2 months away. These conventions are in order. New York Toy Con. This is not New York Toy Fair. This is New York Toy Con. See, the thing with New York. So the issue with New York Toy Fair is that you can't buy anything there. It's more of a showcase. This is an actual, like, it's being promoted as New York's first toy convention, like a just straight up convention where you could come up and, you know, buy some goods, sell some goods, and see what's going around. So I have a table there that is September 4th and 5th. After that, I will be doing Brooklyn Horror Con, and I've always wanted to do a horror convention, and that is on October 24th? 23rd and 24th, I believe. It is pretty much the last week right before Halloween. So yeah, I'll be doing. I'm right now pumping up a few horror images, kind of like this one right here, just trying to get a few things out there. And yeah, so I'll be selling some older stuff I have. I will be selling some new stuff I'm working on, and I also will be selling some revamped older stuff. So yes, that's once again New York Toy Con and Brooklyn Horror Con, September and October. Check out the Instagram pages. Look for them on Facebook as well, and I hope to see you guys there. That'll be really fun. It's just I'm dying to get out into the convention scene again. It's killing me, people. It's killing me. Now, those of you who may be watching on Instagram will notice a lack of music. The music I usually play is off of the PC and being recorded through the PC. And I right now don't want to fiddle with the audio to broadcast that music because it's just such a pain to like readjust it. So all you have is the lovely sound of my voice keeping you company. I am so sorry. What is that? There is something blue. I guess it's just like on the. There was something blue in the layer right there. I don't know what it was. So this setup is kind of crazy, um, but you know, I like I said, I started all of these live stream stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, I should really find a way to get it up and running again. And for those, oh my goodness, my voice is cracked. It's puberty all over again. So those of you who might be watching the Instagram video later on, because I'll probably save this later on Instagram, and you're like, whatever happened to this guy? Essentially, once again, all my live streams I've been doing on Twitch, YouTube, and Picardo every Sunday, roughly 8 o'clock, roughly, God willing. Once again, laying out all of the, laying out a layer of dark, not super dark, but a layer of dark. And then I'll go back in there with the pencil tool, the color pencil tool, which has a nice gradient to it. So the gradient lets me also select midtones, like as I brush. I also need to go back and like do something with the eye. So, also in recent news, myself and my good friend Pretorius Rex, also known as J Marvel Man on Twitch, Joe the Man, Testament. I was like, what the hell just happened to that color right there? That was a weird color. Sorry. But yeah, Joseph, my good friend Joe, he was helping me this past Friday for a very important project for Creature Crosby's upcoming film, Clones versus Drones. Basic woodwork. Just help, kind of like making a video game cabinet. Like, I needed his help with making a wooden frame for a prop. So big shout out to you, Joe, Pretorius Rex. People, please, I keep saying it, go check out his Instagram. He has really, really cool stuff. And send them your love. Or your hate. Whichever prompts him to be more active. That's what you have to send him. I remember one of the many names that Joseph and I don't know why I'm saying Joseph. I never call him Joseph. Why Joe and many of the names that Joe and I were talking about, like when he was thinking of a company, was Testament Specimen. I still like that idea. I still like that idea, Joe. Testament Specimen sounds really fun. Maybe it'd be a subcategory of the larger company when you start designing Kenner style figurines of your characters. Just kind of being loose, laying out these flat colors. I'm not too sure. Once again, it's hair, so like doing texture and hair has never been my forte. I'm just kind of going rough with it right now. Rough. Spider Woman, Spider Woman. She's not the one you're thinking of. Hold on. Okay, good. I have to double check that the eye saving button, per usual, like in every video I have to do this, a little button that adjusts the screen to make sure you don't start bleeding from your eyes when you're working like for hours and hours straight. Have to make sure it's turned off. That way my view of the colors isn't tinted. Might need to also clean up a few of these scraggly lines as well, these ink lines. Okay, so we got some basics. We got the basics down. If I lean for the tablet, I lean in. Let's try and get the collar. If I could get the collar done, if I could find a nice way to stylize the collar. If I could get like the texture I'm looking for, then I could use that as a template for everything else. And the cool thing is the people on Instagram can see behind the scenes. Whenever I leave the screen to adjust stuff in OBS or to adjust the audio, they can see it. You guys can't. You guys on Twitch can't. Special tickets, people. See, if I just do soft shading, it doesn't really capture fur lighting. You know what? I'm gonna switch over. We're gonna type in. Give me a second. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, so I just looked up fur coats. Ah, and there's a gray one right here. No, just show me the fur coat. I mean, it's all strands, like little furry strands. Just gotta try and replicate that. So I'm doing shading, soft shading here, as if it's skin tone, but it's not. Maybe I should do like majority of it in the soft shading, like the pencil shading I'm doing right now, and then go in there with a sharp pen brush and start doing individual lines to really like make it look like individual strands. So soft shading beneath it with highlights. what I should have done in preparation for this, aside from all the stuff that's duct tape around me, what I should have done is just gone to like DeviantArt and looked up some basic digital tutorials. There are some actual really good like tutorials on DeviantArt, just by different artists, been doing it for years. Especially in digital platforms. I'm just using the straight pen tool, very small brush, and putting in some dark lines where it should be the darkest. And this might work. Soft shading beneath it, then these kind of individual strands of dark, and then I'll go back and do individual strands of light, kind of like cross hatching, I guess. Looks a little weird. Gotta work on that. The main thing is to also like try and keep these lines roughly the same freaking direction. I'm just doing a few very light grays now, and then in the light gray, go up, and we put even lighter right there. Oh, it looks a little weird to me. I don't know, I don't like it. Like, I feel like I'm on the right track, I'm just not doing it right, though. So I just got a comment over on, I believe it's on YouTube. Worm on a String says, draw a worm. You mean for my next picture? I am doing some horror stuff, so maybe I could do like a nice, grotesque, monstrous worm. Or a friendly worm, why not? You know what, we're gonna leave. So we're gonna, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna leave that collar. This is like all testing right here. So I'm gonna leave that collar alone. And I'm gonna try and just do flat out shading. The same way I did the shading for the fleshy bits, I'm gonna do that just on the other collar. And see, maybe I should just stick with that technique. Alright, hold on. No wait, it has to be like a brownish color, like a light brown. That is not a light brown. Boom. Yes, please, thank you. Hold on. And there he is. I drew a weird worm. Hold on. Weird worms are the ones that have like heavy eyebrows. That heavy eyebrow. That's a weird worm right there. I'm happy you approve. You know, I'm gonna leave him there for now. I'm gonna let people who get into the chat late just being like, what the hell is that? Thank you for joining me, Worm. Worm on a String. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so once again, we're just gonna try and do like the basic smooth shading right here for the coat. We're gonna see how that looks compared to adding the hair fibers I did on the other side of it. Like I said, I'm happy with like, I'm getting better with the blending technique using the color pencil. You know, you have the blending, then you have like the base, just like basic 2 or 3 tone like cell shading, like in the teeth right here. Anything that's bony, I was doing more cell shading. You can see a lot of that in my recent Coach Bill. Give me a second. It is not there. Open. So I was doing. So I guess I'm getting stuff ready for the conventions coming up. So where are you? Portfolio, conference. Here we go. Nope, that's not right. That is not right at all. Oh, I know why. I am a fool. I have a full. I have a file here that's called "Kill It with Fire." There it is. So some of you may remember this guy. Now he is just flat two colors, like two color pieces, because he's all bony. Then use basic speckles for the tendrils to give the idea of like texture. So he's like really simplified, but I love the way he came out. And with that being said, also I'm making little prints. They're gonna be small, little like the size of like playing cards. I'm calling them bookmarks. These are bookmarks I'm gonna sell to help promote and support the game he's gonna be in, card game. Anyway, yeah. So this is one type of shading I was doing with him. It's just two-tone shading. That's what I did. More for her claws and her teeth. It's just hair. I don't know how to shade hair. Maybe it's not so much the smooth shading, but like the patterns it makes should be like kind of like strands, like that, like that, like that. Put some darker, dramatic. There we go. I also realized the background music was very low for some reason. I just pumped it up a little bit. So I'm doing here similar to what I did on the other side, except I'm not changing the pen tool. So it's still the color pencil. So it's color pencil blending and color pencil for the streaking, so everything has a texture to it. What is that? Okay. Inks, colors, and a worm. Oh, the flesh tone got this weird outline around it. That goes away. That goes away right now. There you go. That was weird. Oh, so weird. Oh, it's the outline from it's the outline from the actual coat. But since I moved the image, the outline is like kind of off-centered as well. Here we go. Let me get back in here, back to the coat and the worm. You know it does work. You joined us. Hello V, thank you for joining us on the Instagram feed. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so I think sticking with the pencil the entire time, right? Stick with the pencil. And use that. Use a pencil to do the individual hair highlights, so it matches the blending. It's not perfect, but and I can always sharpen up some areas I don't like later on. Yeah. Not perfect though. Far from it, but it's working. Let me add a few more lighter highlights in here. It's a process, people. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Let's correct our mistakes then. Go back in here and once again drop a solid gray. We're going to use a solid gray again, a solid light gray. Then we're going to blend it. So we're basically putting flats in, then blending the flats and then adding texture with the use of the pencil tool. There's some artists out there screaming, "God, no, you're doing it wrong. Don't you know anything about Clip Studio? All you gotta do is press this one button and it does it for you." Why is my tablet freaking out? Making tons of little noises. Okay. Shading. I'm also screwing up my pattern. This should be white on top, not white. This should be gray. This should be gray on the bottom as well. I gotta stop using it like it's a pen, like an actual mechanical pen. I should just like flow with the movement of my pencil in circular movements like I would do with an actual mechanical pencil. Well, color pencil, that is. So I noticed on Twitch, among the VTuber community, there is this among all the cool little apps they could use for their characters, for their for their little avatars. There's one where it turns the cursor. It's probably something really simple, but it turns the cursor into an actual hand. So it's as if you're looking at them drawing, and of course that is in sync with their hands, or rather the hand of their avatar. So their avatar's over here drawing. You can see their hand moving around, and then the cursor, you can see the little hand, which is usually like a paw or some kind of lizard hand or whatever the avatar is supposed to be. Bunch of weirdos and their furries. I kid. Come on. There we go. Checking the worm. Okay, worm's still there. Good. That's weird. Why was it so sharp over here? Like, was I using a different tool and not know it? It is rough pencil. Not a bit too rough for my liking. Definitely looks more digital for sure. Says the man using a digital freaking program. Okay. Then we'll go for some almost bright white. Hey, look how wide that is compared to these lines. What was I using? Did I use the wrong tool? Wasn't you, that's for sure. That's going back to start. You know what it was? It was like on 1. Yeah, it was on 1. It was just a really fine. There's a bit of a spread when it comes to using when you're using the color pencil tool. There's like a definite spread of like you have it at 0.5 and it's like huge. Yeah, that looks better. I like that. Because you're not just blending it by smoothing it together, you're blending it by doing little stripes, which actually breaks it up. It breaks it up into the hairs, so it's less of a smooth blending like Prismacolor, more of a not right now. It's more like a charcoal sharp breaking apart of the colors. Some really, just like really dark patches with a really fine, make a fine, I'm sorry, I always do that, a really fine color pencil. Like I'm at 1 point right now. Let's back up for a minute. That just want to fill in those gaps of like solid gray. Add a bit more texture to them. Erase. Use a sharp eraser too. Get those edges. All right. Let me see. Needs some refining, but yes, that's what it is. It's a matter of taking a really sharp, like 0.1 pencil for the lines, but keep it as the color pencil. That way the texture is consistent. You have the smooth texture with the larger color pencil, and you have the sharp little bits with the smaller color pencil. All right, we're doing good. Okay, we're on the right track. First, save. Dear God, please save. And because we must. We're gonna do something. Do. He is a punk worm. Punk worm. Woo! There we go. The charging cord was a little wobbly on my tablet, which is like, wow, you guys keep hearing the beeping. Slimy. Alright. He's not. Oh yeah, wait. Slimy's the Sesame Street worm. Yes, Slimy the worm. Is that his name? J Marvel Man, is that his name? Ah. Hey, Son of Bonds, thank you for joining us on the Instagram feed. Oop, nope. So I haven't had a chance to work on the sculpture of the customized figurine. The customized figurine that has sculpting around it. There we go. I haven't had a chance to actually work on Spider this past week because I've been working on other projects. Like I said, just printing out stuff, sculpting other things for the upcoming conventions I'm doing. The main thing I gotta focus on in terms of sculpting is the Demon in a Bottle. I think I showed that last week. If you haven't seen that, please go check it out on my Instagram. Yeah, for some reason. What is going on with the tablet? Like the tablet keeps like losing power. Yeah, I'm not even moving around, and something's going on with the power of my tablet. It has enough power to keep recording. It just keeps turning on and off as if it's like being plugged in and unplugged in and unplugged. I don't know why it's doing that. There's like a weird green tint over some of the areas here. Don't know why. Mysteries of the universe, people. Okay, let's see. Once again, we're gonna put some flat colors on this. then we'll work it up from there. Whenever I'm coloring with marker, especially because I'm always afraid the markers are going to dry up on me, I usually try and do it in sections. Like if I'm doing skin tones, I'll do the arm first, the chest first. You know, as long as there's a good color off area where it doesn't look weird. Because I always hated, like, you know, you're doing like large swaths of areas and all of a sudden, freaking pen decides it wants to dry up on you. Right about there, okay. And we'll get to the fur around the teeth after I do the side over here. I want to get just want to get the little area tucked right here in her coat finished up. So because it's digital and it's forgiving, I'm working backwards from what I normally work as. Normally I'll do lights into darks. Right here I'm just putting the darks in, seeing how that looks, and then from there I will start adding more lighter colors. Grab A little bit of that. Almost white, not white, but almost white. Why is the gray of her leggings on the skin layer? We'll correct that later. We shall correct that later. Alright. Little areas like this, I don't even have to do the preemptive shading first. Just the really small, I guess striations you could call it, the really small strokes with the lighter pen, with the tiny pen that is. And it kind of does a job for me. It breaks up the color and the shape. Yeah, I'm liking this. I don't know if it's the best technique for doing fur, but I'm liking it so far. It works. Does the job. It's the wrong color. Nope, nope, that's silly. Let's try that again. Redo. Looks a little ragged over here. Is it the inks? Yeah, I think the inks look a little ragged. Let's clean that up a little bit. I know I'm going to draw it wrong, but I want to give him the fez the guy wears from Gravity Falls. Something like that. It's like a Pac-Man fish thing. I know it's an actual symbol. It reminds me of Pac-Man. There you go. He has a fez. Floats above his head, but whatever. That's a show I want to actually watch like in its entirety. I've seen big amounts of Gravity Falls. I've seen the climax of the show, but I definitely want to like watch the whole show. I know it's a good show. It's like, you know, it's a family show. It's a quote unquote kid show, obviously, but like they put a lot of effort into like making a mystery that like evolves as the show goes on. Like it's kind of astounding how much they got away with in that show, doing that. That's all. I'm like doing it chunk by chunk. I'm getting kind of tired. It's been a day. I was working today. Let's get the elbow. Chunk by chunk, people. Yeah, I want to name there's many of us who were avid cartoon watchers who are roughly in their 30s and now entering the 40s, who are old men and old women. We grew up primarily with shows where, you know, meant to sell toys. There weren't many shows that had much to them than that. Not to say that shows were bad. It's just that there were, you know, there was an obvious intention behind some of these shows. And the main thing I'm trying to say is that you didn't really have shows that had... Shows were not like made to have freaking ongoing stories. The term is episodic. You want a show that's episodic. That way any kid could jump in and get hooked on it without having to know a backstory. That's why many shows like... even in the 90s and screw the 90s. Even in like into the 2000s and whatnot. What was that show? Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom did have reoccurring characters. but it was primarily episodic, and you could tell because the theme song explains the setup. Like other shows, just explain the setup in the theme song. But we are entering an age now where like kids shows are being written by people who grew up watching all these cartoons, and they're like, we want to do more things. We want to have an ongoing story. We want to have, shenanigans, and we want to have like drama. The joke I made once was, oh, you want to make an animated show for adults, for teens into adults, that's dramatic and has like heart and everything, but isn't just a adult show like freaking Rick and Morty. Well, then you have to pitch it as a kid's show. Pitch it as a kid's show and then put your stuff into it. So Gravity Falls had a mystery that was constantly evolving within the show. It had hidden codes in every episode. Like at the end of every episode, apparently there was like a hidden code, which was I thought was like genius. You have that. You have the show I always mention every time I do a stream. You have the Owl House, which has its own episodic scenes, but then also has like really heartfelt stuff and character development. Anyone who saw it this weekend knows exactly what I'm talking about, and the internet has gone crazy because of it. Avatar: The Last Airbender was slightly episodic, but it was all building up to a larger climax. Like, I like shows like that. I like shows with actual, like, the first shows to try and do that was freaking, like, X-Men. They literally created the whole previously on X-Men just so they could get away with having an episodic series. And the producers were like, okay, fine, as long as you explain in every episode what happened in the last episode. I'm using the wrong freaking tool. That's why it looks weird to me. Just right now trying to think in my head what other shows did stuff like that. Oh, DuckTales. The new DuckTales series, like, I was like, if you were to make a list of like shows that did amazing reboots, I think the DuckTales series is one of those. Like, I wasn't even a huge fan of freaking DuckTales when I was growing up, but I was like, let me see what this new series is about. And they legitimately are like, we're gonna put in a reference to all the cartoons from that time period. It's gonna be subtle. It's either gonna be subtle, or it's gonna be an actual plot point. It wasn't just like, hey, remember this, kids? It was more like, remember this? By the way, it's an important plot for this storyline. Like, that was a show that had seemingly episodic. Every episode seemed episodic until you then realize that it was all building up to like this huge climax in the final episode. That was a cool show. And it had its full run. I think Disney did it kind of dirty, like near the end. But anything that gets moved from Disney Channel to like freaking Disney XD, that's Disney trying to hide it. So at the last minute, Disney tried to like do it dirty, but it managed to get its last season in. Which is another thing. Gravity Falls had its full run. It was meant to be 2 seasons. It got its 2 seasons. DuckTales got its 2 seasons. Owl House, Disney's being a bitch about it because it wants that Chinese money. It wants that other money, And since our house has LGBT themes, Disney's like, well, it's doing amazingly well with people here in the U.S. But since we can't show it in China or Russia, we're gonna cut it short. And people are pissed, and I would be pissed too if I made a freaking show, and then Disney was like, "No, we're gonna cut it short because we can't get that rich Chinese money." It's like, you guys greenlit this show. You knew what was gonna be in the show. All right. Yeah. I still find it a little rough, a little odd. I'm working with fur. That's the annoying thing about it. But it's going good. I am drifting away, people. Usually I do the 2-hour run. Usually I'll be like, we're gonna be here for 2 hours, 8 to 10. It's only 9:35, and I'm already feeling tired. My butt's falling asleep. Oh! Don't mind me. I'm once again, people on Instagram can't see it. Everyone else can see me leaning awkwardly off screen. Let me see how I look. Oh, wait, something just happened. I accidentally erased something. Okay, let me see. That's me leaning off screen. Yeah, okay. Just checking my tablet. As I sit here, a little sleepy, I realize I put in vacation time for the days after the conventions. So like if I'm doing a convention on Sunday, I put in vacation time for Monday because I'll be exhausted. I also put in vacation time all around New York Comic Con. Guess who got tickets to New York Comic Con? I think I mentioned this last time, but yeah, I managed to get tickets for, shockingly, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which I was shocked. Oh, sorry, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was shocked I got those tickets, but I got them. I took off the Wednesday before that. Big shout out to Mama Burgos. Mama Burgos' birthday. And I'm also off the Monday. So I just have this good week of like 2 days off before the convention, 2 days off after the convention. And I can actually, regain some strength around that time. But that's not until October. So I don't got no vacation time until later. I was thinking, probably not this picture. Probably not this one. Or maybe. I don't know. I was thinking of doing artwork of my monster characters, the pack characters. These guys you see here, the ones that are humans transforming into hideous creatures. As prints, even small ones, as prints for HorrorCon. But then again, like I said, I have a nice backlog of older stuff that I could just take some time updating and cleaning up, and I could also use that too. Because it's not just, I might be proud of the character designs and stuff, but like, what's gonna sell? You never know what's gonna sell. It is the struggle. It is the struggle of all artists. What will sell? Oh, here's some bit of annoying news. So I have my card game of Trolls and Trolls, which I've slightly updated. There was a piece of artwork that was really bugging me for a while, based on people's suggestions. I updated a small piece of artwork of Trolls and Trolls over on the Game Crafter. It's a family-friendly card game, and I was like, you know what? Let me get a stack of these in time for the conventions. I'm like, the conventions are like, once again, a few months off, and I couldn't remember how long it took to print the original ones, like the original order I made. So I was like, okay, let me see. I have August, and I have September. I probably won't be ready by September. It might be ready by October. And I make the order, and I go, okay, I want an order of just 10. Just make 10 copies of my card game to have on the table to promote the game and the website, to sell it by. And they're like, okay, it'll be this much. Fine. Whatever, it'll be that much money, whatever. And then I'm like, let me get it. And it says, okay, you'll get them by November. Wait, am I thinking about that right? Let me see, August, September, October, November, yep. I would get it after both conventions. I'm like, no! And it has an option to expedite the printing process. And I'm thinking, okay, cool, it'll probably be like an extra $100 or something. They double it. To expedite it, to get them by August, or as to have it mailed by August, it's literally double the amount to make it. And I'm like, I can't. So I made the order, and I was like, I'll just make the order, and then they'll get it by November, so at least I have a stack of them ready to go for the whatever future convention comes up next year. Because once again, I have I have enough backlog products to milk in the meantime. Going to do a quick cleanup on the edges. Just want to see how everything looks without the mess around it. Yeah, I'm hoping to push of Trolls and Trolls. It is the first completed card game. Not my first card game I've developed, but the first completed card game. If I could push of Trolls and Trolls, and the idea is you want it to sell more and more, because the more it sells, ideally, the price begins to drop for production. And the way it works is, from the game crafter, you pay how much it costs to make the game. So which is why you have to really do some mental gymnastics to try and get the lowest price you can in terms of production. It's a whole process I learned while making the games. What's the best way to lower production rate? If the production rate, you have how much you charge people. So if the production rate is 10, the game crafter says automatically you should charge them 15. You could choose more if you want. I'm the kind of guy who's like, if I wouldn't buy it for a certain price, I'm not going to label it at a certain price, which means I sometimes have to shoot myself in the foot. So theoretically, if the game takes $10 to make, I will charge, in this case, let's say 15, fine. I will charge 15, and then I get, from the $5 difference, I get 70%, they get 30%. The production rate is just production rate. It's a profit that gets split. So, of Trolls and Trolls, I sell it for a certain amount. That's not even the $5 difference, it's less. So I'm making it for a certain amount, selling it for an amount that I think is a good amount to sell it at, not a good amount to make a profit off of. So I'm hoping the more I advertise, the more I sell, the production rate begins to drop, because they start making it in bulk eventually. And then that difference is good. Much good. Very good. In fact, recent. Let me see. Open. I'm gonna advertise. Let's advertise for a minute. I gotta take a break from drawing these same colors over and over again. So the update I did was this lovely lady, the Fickle Fairy. I just want to update what she was wearing, because she wasn't wearing anything. She was covered, but not wearing anything. But just for the sake of it being a family game, I'm like, let me put some clothes on her. And she did. She's filing her nails. She doesn't give a damn. So you have the Fickle Fairy, and she protects from fire or ice attacks in the card game. But she's fickle. There's my bug again. It's a Fickle Fairy. There's the cold shoulder pad. In this case, it protects from fire attacks. So everything's all puns. Everything's all puns. You get the troll attacks you with a attack of magic, fire, whatever. It's an odd attack. There we go. The troll. So the troll attacks you with fire, ice, slime, or magic. And you have in your hand you have a deck of cards. And you have to play a card that protects you from one of these items. If you don't have that card, you lose a certain amount of gold. If you do have the card tells you how much gold you get. And yeah. Oh no. Be gone. And yeah, that was something I worked on. I'm really happy the way it came out. And I just need to push it. So I'm pushing it here. The Game Crafter of Tolls and Trolls. Check it out, guys. Please check it out. And other games that are coming up. Once again, I am developing Kill It With Fire, which is where the giant bug comes from. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, or if you want a kind of game that is in itself a fighting encounter. So like in Dungeons and Dragons, when you have those encounters, you know, everyone rolls initiative. Kill It With Fire is pretty much, as I develop it, I realize it's pretty much just a self-contained fight, like a D&D style kind of fight. Everyone has certain powers, everyone has certain traits, so that'd be nice. That's a bit more down the line. And the other game I'm developing is my Thunderhead game. I'm once again trying to develop Thunderhead, and that'll come out more like a more Monopoly kind of game. You move around the board and you pick up items and you pick up resources. So you have a family game that's easy to play, a resource game where you have to pick up items around the board to beat your opponents. The D&D inspired game, and the one that's closest to the next print is Ascending Assassins, which is basically just a race to the end. You're basically rolling the dice, trying to beat the other opponents to the end goal, which is climbing this tower and defeating the evil emperor in Ascending Assassins. That one needs to be edited because the background art was way too dark. Check out the Instagram post on that, where I got the first hard copy prototype from the Game Crafter. I opened it, I check it out, I show what it's about, I shake it all about, and yeah, you get to see how the artwork looks for that. Now, I know I've been dragging out this one drawing for quite some time, guys. But once again, it's a slow process trying to learn the program, trying to learn techniques. I think it's working so far. With the fur, I think it's working so far. I'm saying that because, yeah, it's 9:50 and I am actually very sleepy. I'm thinking in my spare time, I might jump into this, do all the fur by myself. The fur, the hair. Maybe next time we meet up, we just do the bodysuit. If you've seen the process I go through with all the fur here, it's a slow process, so I might just go in there, do it my own, and then, like I said, do the bodysuit, just soft blending, do the skin tone, maybe soft blending. Let me flip the canvas here, and it looks so far. Canvas flipping does work. Wait, nope, that's not it. Yeah. Looks good. Okay, looks good. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night over here, guys. So big shout outs to all the people who popped up in the streams. For the combined streams of YouTube and Instagram. Thank you to Worm on a String. Thank you to, where are you guys? So I have to reread the names. Worm on a String. Of course, J Marvel Man. You guys are awesome. Over on Instagram, thank you everyone. Thank you, Son of Bonds. Thank you once again, Clitorius Rex. And thank you, V. And I have to scroll through it. And thank you, Mac. Thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna do this setup again using Instagram on a separate device. For those of you who are watching on Instagram, please tune in again, primarily on YouTube, Twitch, and Picardo. If you happen to look at Picardo for your art streams, those are areas where I can also see the chat all combined. The chat is connected through VStream. And I think that'll be it for this week. Per usual, once again, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future. Save. Later.